Are we also perpetuating Russian stereotypes by our comments during this session?
I believe we are Russian stereotypes. I'm Gene. I'm Russian. I was born in Moscow.
My name's Ben. I was born in Russia.
Hi, I'm Irene. I'm Eric's mom. I grew up in the former Soviet Union and I lived there for 12 years recently.
And I'm Eric, and I lived with her in Russia for 12 years. Do you feel bad when a Russian is portrayed as a villain?
No, I don't like when non-Russians play Russians because they can't speak Russian and it comes out some blah, 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 and it's ridiculous.
All right, now I'm going to demonstrate what actual Russian should sound like. Это как должно звучить, ты понимаешь?
Я ничего не понимаю, which means I don't understand anything because his Russian's awful.
So the first character we're gonna watch is Black Widow from the Avengers.
Не так я ожидал провести это.
I heard «Не так я ожидал провести это». What the f*** is that?
I can actually understand them. The guy looks Russian.
Толкнуть наш товар?
Я думала, генерал Солигуб отвечает.
Yo, this is like another language, I swear to God.
The fact that he's struggling so much to say these sentences and like slurring some of the words makes him a lot weaker as a character.
Вы правда думаете, что я красива?
So this line right here, she said, do you really think I'm pretty? She said it in Russian. The way I hear that is, you think I'm pretty?
I also just love that the Russian scene is a bunch of dudes tying up a woman and like beating her to get information. Did you ever have any mafia experiences in Russia?
I did have mafia experience. Yes, I did. I was I dealt with a KGB.
So how accurate
Very
was this?
similar.
You were in the chair like
I was
Scarlett
not
Jo-
tied up in the chair, no, but definitely very scary people.
Yeah, I guess it's a good thing that we have an example of a Russian who's a hero and an Avenger. This is VANKO from Iron Man 2.
Just pause it right here. This guy does not look Russian at all.
Some business with you.
Yeah,
toothpick.
I definitely like the toothpick.
The toothpick is accurate.
It's very accurate.
Russians will have a toothpick for no reason in their
Yeah,
mouth,
they
and
like
then
toothpick.
sometimes pick it.
We're a lot alike in a lot of ways. The only difference between you and I is that I
The only authentic Russian thing about this clip is that this guy hasn't spoken yet.
Also, the constant confused look of like scouring everything and just being confused by the universe feels very Russian to me.
Если меня убьют, не будут и меня. Лучше умереть, чем жить в вашем мире.
That's hilarious. I have no idea what Miguel just said.
It started with, if they kill me, and then I don't know what language the rest of that sentence was in.
This was better than the Scarlett Johansson
I was
clip.
gonna say Scarlett is better than this. At least I understood her full sentence.
It was entertaining,
Very,
Not accurate,
He's very entertaining.
but very entertaining. This is Boris and Natasha from the BULLWINKLE show.
Boris and Natasha single-handedly ruined my childhood. My birth name in Russian is Boris, and when I came to America, this show was popular, so I was always like, hi, my name is Boris, and they'd be like, oh, where's Natasha? Where's Natasha? Yeah, that's really original. You, Boris and Natasha. I had to change my name in English because of Boris and Natasha.
Say the name.
Boris and Natasha.
Ta-da!
Then we steal mattress, Boris.
No time like the president, Natasha. Look, we're coming to tunnel.
Boris looks like
Every Russian,
Danny DeVito.
which is every Russian. Little, pudgy father.
Why does Boris have to be so ugly? He's just like Quasimodo with a drinking problem. Like,
Who owns a jewelry store nearby you? Probably looks like this guy.
Probably looks like this guy, yes.
When it gets dark, we grab mattress and make a run for it.
No, that's a good accent, I gotta say. Look, we're coming to tunnel.
The accent was very good. They're very Russian. I like him. He sounds like my uncle. He does.
I agree.
this is Elizabeth and Philip from the Americans.
We don't kill people. Jesus.
We wouldn't.
These are real stories, right? Like, The Americans isn't based on an exactly true story, but spying is a thing. Being in another country and having to pretend to be American, that's a thing that happens, and it's a really interesting character.
My dad instructed me specifically to not be Russian whatsoever. You have to be American, he said. And I took that to heart. That's why I'm wearing this tracksuit.
We had a job to do.
It's the most interesting take. None of these characters have Russian accents. None of these characters are alcoholics, like sitting there and like being macho and not talking.
The Americans, I think, did a very interesting job in portraying them as anybody. It could be anybody, which is scary. It could be you and me.
Now we're watching Red from Orange is the New Black.
Maybe we should all get down on our knees and lick it up.
I'm kidding. They doubled our order of slop this month. We can cover it. What's gotten into you?
All right, first of all, this character is my mom.
She's very good, I think, because I know people like that.
Every Russian guy has somebody like this in their life. This is a pretty good Russian character. The accent's okay.
Sometimes there's a mess. It happens.
Notice how every Russian character, here's how you do it. You just take their smile and turn it upside down.
And she also has this like attitude that's like, calm down, I'm gonna fix everything.
Yeah, so she's definitely, I think she was well portrayed in terms of the strong Russian woman.
Yeah, good job, Red. That was very accurate, very interesting, very fun to watch.
We're watching Rounders with Teddy KGB.
Top 2 pair.
Teddy looks Russian. You gotta give him that.
This is actually a really good character, Malkovich. He does a good job.
The f did you lay that down?
That's good.
Very good acting, very interesting to watch. But again, like all the characters are kind of the same.
Yeah.
I don't know any Russian that eats Oreos though.
Yeah, he's a unique Russian.
Unique Russian.
Russians do not like Oreos.
Don't even know what Oreos are, probably.
Yeah, but if they do, they wouldn't like them.
Now we're gonna watch Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
They're toe-to-toe. The Russian towers above the American. It's the true case of David and Goliath here.
I don't think this would be offensive. I think this would be like, actually, if you're a Russian, you might want to be portrayed like this. He's big, he's strong, he looks phenomenal, good looking.
Drago was like my ideal vision of who I would be when I grew up.
So this is, I think, kind of a positive portrayal of what Russian.
But I think people would root for Rocky, right? So it makes him the villain.
We would root for Rocky because we're American. But if we were Russian, we would root for Ivan.
I would be lying if I say that I wasn't at least a little bit rooting for Drago.
I was only rooting for Drago. I don't like Rocky. I think Russians are being depicted better over time.
Yeah, we're better bad guys now.
I just don't think it's the most interesting.
What do? Russians are portrayed as spies and as villains. And
There's
as
more.
thieves.
It's not offensive to me that the characters are always the bad guys, but at least speak well.
Enunciate the bad things you're doing. Don't just, yo, хочу тебя убить.
For Hollywood, I think that maybe they should have more roles for real-speaking Russians. I think there are many actors here who speak Russian, who can do well, and it would be, I think, more interesting when you bring in more authentic people, diversity into the industry, not always the same faces.
Thank you, Mom. Thanks for trying to get me a job.
To
some director.